walked away from a conversation thinking, why didn't I just speak up? Or you didn't say what you really wanted to say, or worse, maybe you agreed to something again and you're frustrated with yourself because you knew in the moment you didn't really want to do it. If you've ever asked yourself, why can't I just speak up? I want to share a different way of looking at it because I don't think the problem is what most of us think it is. I don't actually think it's hard to speak up. I think it's hard because we are trying to manage someone else's experience of what we are about to say. We are thinking, ugh, what if they get upset? What if they think I'm selfish? What if they don't understand? What if they judge me? Now, all of that can make this feel hard to speak up for yourself. So instead of having one conversation, we're having two. One is with ourselves. This is what I want to say. Here is how I'm feeling. This is what feels right for me. The other one is an imaginary conversation with the other person before they've even said a word. And that is exhausting. Women call themselves doormat all the time. I don't know why I let people walk all over me, they say. But so often, that's not what I see. What I see is someone who learned a long time ago that keeping the peace felt easier than disappointing someone. And maybe there was someone in your life who got angry if you disagreed or blamed you or made you feel guilty or acted like your feelings just don't matter. So over time, you learned it's easier if I just go along with it. If I just agree, if I just say yes, if I just appease people, it's just easier. But over time, you might be learning or discovering it's actually not easier. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. You are not weak. You are not a doormat. It means you've learned to practice a pattern for a very long time. So you're really good at it. It hits like a default. It just kicks in that you find yourself doing this or saying yes when inside you're feeling this or you're feeling no, not again. Here's what changed everything for me. Speaking up isn't about, you hear me? It is not about changing someone else. It's about being honest with yourself because here's the thing, you already know how you feel. I bet you do. I bet if you sit with it, you know your truth. You know what's coming up for you in those moments. You know what works for you. You know what's not working for you. You've probably known for a while. The hard part isn't figuring out what you want or what you don't want, what you like or what you don't like, what is working for you or what is not working for you. The hard part sometimes is giving yourself permission to let that matter. Before you worry about what they are going to think or what they are going to say, ask yourself, does this work for me? How do I actually feel about this? Do I even want this? Because if you are not honest with yourself first, you'll spend all your energy trying to manage someone else's reaction or imaginary reaction instead. And here's the most beautiful part. Speaking up doesn't have to sound confrontational. It's not required to be confrontational. You just simply start with phrases like, I'm not able to do that. That doesn't work for me. I've actually decided to do something different. I'm keeping my weekend open. Notice something? None of those sentences are about changing the other person. I'm not in convincing mode. We do this weird thing where we start going, well, I know you, but and we do this sort of thing with our hands and our voice, and we go into explaining ourselves. All of those phrases, they're only telling the truth about you. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to build a case behind what you want. And you definitely don't have to get them to agree with your decision. And that's where our head goes. If I could just make them see my side, if they would just, but then we're really over there. We're all in their experience and what they are going to say. You know what? You only have to be honest with yourself. Here's what I hope you take away from this. You only have one life. You only get one life. Your life. Other people are free to make choices that are right for them. You are allowed, my friend, to make choices that are right for you. Your feelings matter. What works for you matters. You don't have to justify yourself to honor yourself. And I think that is one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves. One of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself is to honor what works for you. So I'm curious, have you ever caught yourself trying to manage someone else's reaction before you even said a word? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I would love to hear your thoughts. And if this conversation resonated with you, if you feel like you do feel challenged to speak up for yourself, you like this perspective that it is more about getting to your truth. It is speaking your truth more so than getting agreement from others, trying to manage how others will react or respond. Yeah, subscribe so we can keep having coffee chats like this together, hanging out together, talking about life together. I mean, thanks for hanging out with me today. It means so much to me. I hope that this gave you something to think about in a new way. And until next time, enjoy. Totally distracted by a chipmunk. And I think that airplanes go over when I'm recording videos. It's so great.